let's talk about the market. We haven't done that in a little while on the show, but if you've been listening to the show over the course of the past 8 years, you guys know that I'm a numbers guy. I follow the market very closely. That's one of our strong suits is our ability to be an expert in the market and help consult people based on their individual plans and what they hope to accomplish. And so I guess let me first say this before I get into numbers and just kind of talking about the market in general. And I talked about this with a seller earlier in the week, and I think it was just worth repeating on this show. Our average days on market so far this year is 7 days. That for our team. That's how quickly we're selling real estate. The average days on market in the entirety of the market, at least on a median, is 52 days. Now, when I talk with somebody and we're sitting down and we're going through the process of what it's going to take to sell their property for top dollar in the least amount of time with the least amount of stress, that whole thing that agents always say, I'm going to get you top dollar in the least amount of time with the least amount of stress. I feel like it's really overused. But anyways, it's reasonable to, when you're looking at comps, especially in areas where the market is very hot, there's hardly any, hardly any, maybe even sometimes zero active listings that they are competing with. I'm still going to say that it's going to take around 30 days for them to sell. Now, we have been fortunate as a market to still have multiple offers be very commonplace. Buyers are fighting over properties, and it's because there's just hardly anything available. Our inventory is down basically 50% from this time last year. And we'll go through the numbers, and I'm going to break that up by county here in just a little bit. But the question needs to be asked, what were to happen if your home would sell in just a few days? And so that really is, when we're talking with folks, it really has to be a consultation. We really have to cover all the angles here. And what we're finding when talking with some of these sellers, especially as they interview other agents, is that they're really just not, they're not hitting on the process. It's all just, hey, look at me, look at all my marketing, look at all the cool things that I can do or that I've done. And don't get me wrong, I'm very proud of the fact that we are selling homes in an average of 7 days and for 99.5% of the asking price. But that's not everybody's goal. My goal is to accomplish your goal. And so in order for us to accomplish that goal, we need to create a plan based on what you want to do. In many instances, that does not actually require us selling a home in just a few days. People are perfectly fine with waiting a month, sometimes 2 months. But when you're selling a home, you've got two ends of the spectrum, right? You want to sell it for the most amount of money possible, and you're willing to wait as long as it takes in order to get that number. Or I need to sell right now. Maybe I've got a home that I have my eyes on that I want to put under contract. And in order to purchase that home, I need to get my home listed at a price that will cause it to sell in just a few days so that I can actually perform on the other end of the contract and purchase that property. So very interesting dynamic. I really haven't seen much of a slowdown, to be honest, this time of year. In fact, on my team, and I was talking about this with John Quincy when I do my Friday morning call-ins, December is almost always our second or third best month of the year. And really what I mean by that is that there's still a lot of activity in the market in the winter months. And it's been that way for years and years and years. Our team does very well in December. Part of it's because we work rather than say, all right, well, it's been a good year. We're going to take part of November and most of December off, kind of do the bare essentials. No, we're still in the office, all day, every day, working away, trying to help people accomplish their real estate goals. And so when you talk about earning people's business, you have to be good at what you do, but you also have to be there. And a lot of agents earn business from people because they're simply there. They might not even be good. But if you look at the stats, it's overwhelming that, according to the National Association of Realtors, almost 3/4 of all people hire the first agent they come into contact with that has a pulse, that can speak reasonably and assuredly about the market. They don't do a lot of interviewing. And frankly, I think that's a bit of a mistake. This is a big decision. It's a big purchase. It's a lot of money. You need to be aligned with somebody that can take care of that and take care of you. So anyways, moving forward, let's talk about the market. And first, let's just talk about, kind of where we are right now versus the post-housing market crash of 2009. If you look at the numbers, we were selling half to a third the number of homes on a monthly basis in comparison to what we're selling now. We're doing over 2,000 transactions a month. Post-2008 crash, 2009, we were at, 600-ish, 700-ish transactions a month. So we've basically tripled the number of transactions we're doing in a monthly basis, and we're doing that in a market where we have essentially 3,000 to 3,500 homes available for sale, whereas at the end of 2009, we had 4 to 5 times that number of homes available for sale. So we are selling way more with way less inventory. It's been really interesting to see our market react post-COVID. And now here we are, we're 6 months past it essentially. And the market really hasn't skipped a beat. But usually what happens in March and April and to an extent May is, if you think about that standard bell curve, listings go up and sales go up kind of in tandem with one another in spring, except for this year. Sales went up, but listings went down. And what it did is it just killed the inventory. And the inventory was already low. This time last year, we had, let me look at the actual number, we had 6,200 homes available for sale. At the end of October, we had 3,200 homes available for sale. That's down 48%. If you look at the absorption rate, or the rate at which we are putting things under contract, our month supply of inventory market-wide is 1.8 months worth of inventory. To give you a better understanding of that figure, which is really what we use to measure the health of a real estate market, a standard kind of balanced real estate market where there's no real upward, downward pressure on pricing, there's no under or oversupply of pricing, demand is kind of in line with everything, is about 6 months. And with 6 months supply of inventory, prices go up essentially in line with inflation, a few percentage points a year. But if you look at new listings this year to date, we've put essentially the same number of homes on the market year to date as we did last year, but we've put 21% more properties under contract and we've sold 14% more homes. We've essentially sold almost 2,500 more homes than we did this time last year. Now, if you look at days on market, that's remained fairly unchanged. Last year to date, this time it was at 55 days. Now we're at 52 days. So that's down a few percentage points, but really nothing to write home about. What's been interesting, though, is what's happened with pricing. We were talking at the end of 2019 that at some point in time, prices have to stop going up because we're running into affordability issues. People are getting priced out of the market. Wages are not increasing at that pace. And so, of course, you look at the underlying economics, which are getting better. Unemployment is going down, new jobs are going up. Things are getting better, not hugely better, but they're getting a little better out there. And so if you look at the median sales price across the board, we're up 7%. The median sales price in the Tri-County area is now $299. If you look at the average, now I like using median because it's a little bit more of a fair number. We have so many different areas of Charleston that have properties that are $50,000 to $10 million. I think the median is the better number to use because it's a little bit more accurate and removes some of those outliers, which is why I'm relying on that. The median sales price being up 7% year to date. But if you look at the average sales price is up 11%. The average sales price in the Tri-County is $406,000, highest it's ever been. In October, by the way, it was $443,000. This time last year, it was $368,000. So big price gains. What's been the saving grace? Interest rates. They've actually gone down. I don't know how many records at this point we've broken this year, with it now being the new lowest interest rate that we've seen. But that's really helping affordability. But affordability, there's a housing affordability index that we use, and that's down 7%. Homes are 7% less affordable right now than they were this time, or year to date. It's actually down 14% in October versus October of 2019. So I tell you what, I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, we'll talk about some of these figures per county, Charleston, Berkeley, and Dorchester. And remember, if you have specific questions about the value of your home, you want to know what's going on in your neck of the woods, we have just subscribed to a new service that is frankly incredible. It's the best I've seen. It's going to tell you what your home is worth right now, and it allows you to adjust that figure based on things that are actually happening inside your home. Don't get me started on Zestimate because I don't have time today, but Zestimates and Zillow in general do not know anything about the interior of your home, the condition of your home, the upgrades you've used. The data is skewed, in my opinion, to the point where you can't rely on Zillow's Zestimate to tell you what your home is worth. But this service that we have allows you to make those modifications. It allows me to put in what I believe the value of your home is. And then it pulls up your mortgage. It shows you how much principal and interest you've paid. It shows you how much you can save in interest over the years by making extra payments or adding extra money to each payment. It tells you how many years off the life of your loan you can take off by adding, $100, $200, $300 a month to your payment. It shows you how much you can rent your property for. It gives you projections on if you were to rent your property on a weekly basis, so long as you have the ability to do that. All kinds of cool stuff. So if you want to get set up on that, or if you just want to have a discussion with me about the value of your home, happy to do that. I'm doing that for so many people right now that are preparing to sell their home here in the next few months. And we're going to talk about that from the buyer perspective as well. But if you'd like more information on that, feel free to give me a call, 843-400-8009. That's 843-400-8009. Or just go to our website, listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. You can learn more about our incentives. You can get the valuation on your home, learn more about selling your home on your own, download some free resources, listingsincharleston.com. Stick around, folks, for more of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show.